Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Fortnite Creative mechanic. After last week's video on the healing spot, I got some requests if there's a way to make shields regenerate over time. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's create the Pandora effect. Okay, so this is actually really easy to set up, but very difficult to fine-tune it to exactly how you want it. So before we go on, I do want to mention that the giveaway on my last video is still running. Next Monday, so 30th of September, I'm picking a random comment that wins. So go check that out for a chance to win a free item of your choice in the item shop. Okay, so here we go. Since this mechanic is very precise, I will be using a grid island to help me set up and calculate the exact width and height of the shield zone. This island shows me all the one tile grid, so every square is the same size as a floor tile and would be in the exact same spot. Now, are you guys ready for the secret to shield over time? Open your galleries and scroll down to Kevin the Cube gallery. Throw it down and delete one of these cubes. Then select the other one and make it as small as possible. Now before we go on with positioning and the size mechanics and calculations, let me show you guys what happens when you fly away from the cube and then walk or fly closer to it. As soon as I get in range, you'll see the glitchy overlay popping up on my screen. And then look down at my shield, you'll see that very slowly I start to generate shield over time because of the cube effect. And that's exactly what we'll be using. Now let's get into some more detail. Grab the cube and make it just as small as possible and check to make sure you have collision set to nothing and grid snap to 2. Just to make it a little bit easier to position it exactly where we want it. Now when you pick it up, you can see that the little blue dot in the middle, that marks the exact middle of the item we're holding, which makes it even easier to position it and place it exactly where we want to. So do that and place it in the middle of 4 tiles, exactly on the dot, so that the dot is exactly on the X between the 4 tiles. This is why we use the grid island, because it makes it a lot easier to calculate. If you want to implement this in an already existing map, just place down 4 tiles, floor tiles, to make it easier. Now although we can't actually see the range of the shield regeneration zone, it is actually 3¼ tiles when the cube is reduced to its minimum. So let me count 3 tiles to the east to demonstrate this. Just before touching the 3rd floor, you can see it activate. So you have to imagine a sphere being around the center point that is exactly this big. So that means 3¼ south, 3¼ east, but also up vertically. What I usually do is I throw down something that draws a zone, like a capture area for example, and then put the width to 3 tiles and place it in the exact middle of the cube. To demonstrate the bubble working vertically as well, let me build up a platform. It's actually vertical a little bit higher, so build up 4, and I'll place 1 more wall and remove the top part. So you can see that if I stand on this little ledge, I'm just outside of the zone. As soon as my foot enters, it activates and gives me shield over time. You can use this in combination with non-grid attached blocks, for example from the cube gallery, the normal one, if you want this activation point to be very small and only effective where you want it. To speed up the amount of shield that is generated, all you have to do is go down to your cube and copy paste it. For every cube placed down, you'll get an additional 1 shield every 3 seconds. So if you want to generate 5 shield every 3 seconds, all you have to do is grab it, paste it 4 extra times, and as you can see, as soon as I get in the zone, I now get 5 shield per tick. The bigger you make the cube, the bigger the zone also becomes, so personally I like to have it as small as possible, to be in total control. But if you're creating a 1v1 map or a zone wars or whatever, and you want the effect to be everywhere, just make the cube as big as you can and then place it under your map, so that you have the Pandora-like effect everywhere. Now I know what you're thinking, really dude, an entire video on how Kevin the Cube gives you shields? Well, yeah, because I'm sure 99% of you guys didn't even remember this shield generating zone that the cube generates. So if you're part of that 1% that did know and still reached this far in the video, all I have to say is, well, thanks for sticking around. Now all that is left to do is decorate Kevin the Cube if you have it in like a public vision. So today we'll just be making into like a tranquility garden with a waterfall, and I'll place the cube just under the floor to hide it. And I'll see you guys after this short time lapse. Thank you guys so much for checking out this new vid. Please subscribe for more awesome content, news, insane mechanics, and go check out my last insane banana robot speed build. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell, and don't forget to use my code in the item shop, Fortnite Creative Tutorials. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.